on race laps. Okay. Oh yeah, knock yourself out. Oh, I don't. Yeah. Tell yourself you're the fucking mayor of fucking Titty Town. That's fine with me. Yeah, no, that's fine with me, man. Fine. This is. I mean, you and John and Joe, like the MRL thing's totally your guys' brainchild. I'm just trying to help you guys, you know, get it off the ground, the back end of it. So, by all means, yeah, have at it, brother.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live at Bristol. You are with Mean Gene Money, the voice of MLR Broadcasting, live in the booth with my tag team partner, Snake. We've got Kevin Kyle, KK, down in the pits, bringing us all the insider information that you, the viewer at home, would ever want to know. That's right, MRL Wednesday Night Xfinty live on YouTube, courtesy of the MLR Broadcasting Network. This is race 8 of our 13 race regular season. Snake, welcome back. Good to have you in the booth, my friend. How's your night looking?
This is like a blast from the past, G-Money, man. This has been a while since we've been a tag team duo. It's great to be here tonight. Short track racing, Thunder Valley. What more do you want? Let's get it on.
You couldn't have said it better, my friend. And see, we're looking at 37 cars in this field. That is just huge. It might be one of the largest MRL fields that we have ever seen fielded, and we're doing it right here live on a Wednesday night. Race 8 of 13. They're coming off of a big showing at Watkins Glen where David Cook took the win and sealed himself into the playoffs. You can see up on that standings right there, ladies and gentlemen, David Owens. He is our leader. Nate Maurer trying to chase him down. Both of them are inside the playoffs already. Joe Amato, he doesn't have a win, but he's a strong finisher. Colin Bollinger 4, Robert Babcock, the Rooster, he's 5th. And see, I got to tell you a little story I want to talk about, though. I got to tell you a little story. Earlier, Colin Bollinger, the number 4 guy, he had a little run-in out on the track with a rookie first-time participant, Grady Graham. I wonder if something might develop there.
Well, hopefully Grady makes the grade there, G-Money. And you forgot to mention the always consistent Joe Volpus. When you're talking about the Rooster earlier, I thought you were going to say cock-a-doodle-doo there. But a lot of great storylines to talk about tonight. We have a lot of drivers in the mix to try to bolster their playoff seeding. Wonderful battles to take place tonight. I can't wait to just take in all the action and just be along for the ride tonight. Where's my beer? Let's get this party started.
Absolutely, folks. Bottoms up and hammer down soon on the horizon. You can see the cars starting to take the grid right now. And as we said earlier, these guys are fighting to get into that playoff position. This is a win and you're in situation. 14 of these drivers are going to be competing for that championship run. And even if you're at the bottom, one win gets you into the chase, and you only have to run half of the races. It's a 13-race season. If you run 7 of them, you are going to be eligible. And if you get that win, you're going to find yourself fighting for position. The couple of other drivers we might want to mention, David Cook, he got that win. He's in 8th. Chris Cornett, Matt Novella, 10th. Matty's had a really rough time. See, I have seen him be the victim of not 1, not 2, not 3. In fact, I don't have enough fingers on this hand to count how many times I've seen that 56 just get caught up in some incidents. What is any driver going to have to do here at Bristol, the short track, to avoid being caught up in an early incident?
Well, this is probably the wrong track to take heed to that strategy. But to your point, Novella's had a rough week. Monday night in Cup, the early exit, being caught up in 2 incidents early. He ran a truck race last night, and I heard he got caught up in yet another incident at Bristol, coincidentally. So to see what'll happen tonight, to try to keep it clean, there's no chance here. Rubbin is racing. 8 tires are better than 4. The pace car is pulling off, and we're going to see how this thing shakes out in a minute.
31 cars did qualify. That means 5 of those guys chose not 6 of those guys chose not to participate. So you can see that they're trying their own strategy of starting in the back and hoping that it'll narrow out. And hey, I tell you what, we mentioned his name earlier, the 961 of Grady Graham, the Florida man. He's a transplant from Ohio. I interviewed the real Florida man earlier tonight, Jax Duvall. He said they don't claim him yet. They don't take Ohio Yankees down there lightly. And I think some of the guys on the track might have a little bit something extra for that rookie who's sitting on the pole.
Well, he's definitely going to have to earn his rookie stripes here with this competitive field tonight. I've run Xfinity here in the MRL on a part-time basis, and I can tell you what, there's a cream of the crop here in terms of drivers A to Z. So to get a proper foothold and get off on the right foot, so to speak, you know, you're definitely going to have to earn your respect out there tonight.
And a lot of these guys looking for respect. Look at the rookies. That front row, Grady Graham, Chris Cornett, double rookies. David Cook starting third, he's a rookie. Robert Richards, that guy's on the cusp right now of that 14th position. He would love to make his way back up. Richards just 3 points behind. Christopher Knott trying to get into that 14th place. Okay, I see that the pace car has pulled off. They're coming around turn 4. Grady Graham's going to lead him across the start-finish line as we go hammer down live at Bristol.
Bristol, baby. As you can see, they exit out of turn 1 into 2 out on the backstretch there. Looked like they fired off cleanly. Going to have a lot of action, a lot of pack racing to watch. We'll see if there can be any separation up front here, but a clean first lap as we get underway at Bristol tonight.
Highly impressive with this many cars on the track. Right now, we've got the camera up front so you can see what the leaders are doing. You can see Cook and Cornett with a little bit of shuffling trying to figure it out. Single file back into the 4th place of Doug Neal. And then you can see a little bit of that double car action as these drivers, they don't want to be the first one to wreck. See, you don't have a quick repair here tonight. You got to be cautious. But on the other hand, caution breeds failure. He who hesitates is lost, and no one wants to be left behind when the party bus leaves the station.
Well, it's definitely cliche to say race the track, not each other. You know, you just want to try to take what the track will give you here. But to that point, you know, you don't want to be trapped in the dirty air. You don't want to be stuck in this pack racing here. So restarts are going to be key tonight, as cautions definitely will breed cautions. And
a little bit of
we have a
tapping.
car at the inside wall there.
That looked painful. I believe that was the 28 of Amato. Let's take a look back at that.
Looks like we have our first yellow of the evening here. Try to get a replay and see what happened there. And we see a hood up blocking the view, so they were driving like Mr. Magoo. There's no chance right there.
And I see that hood up. Please don't be the 56. Please do not be the 56.
That is the 88. Is that Steve Lewis?
Oh,
Fast Louie.
No. Fast Louie.
Looks like he got a little help there. He got shown the chrome horn there. We'll see who the responsible party was, but Joseph Amato kind of gingerly tapping Steve Lewis out of the way here early at Bristol.
And Joe Amato, you can see he's riding down a little bit lower on the track. I think he might want to come in and get that front end looked at on that 28 Camaro of his. Really unfortunate. Steve Lewis, he was fighting to be that lucky dog all night on Monday. Couldn't quite make his way up back into the front. And now Lewis finds himself the victim. Little bit of chat on the radio right now between Joe Amato and MRL officials as we can see Steve Lewis. Let's look at that replay, see.
Yeah, I spoke to Steve Lewis last night, and he was very excited to be racing here at Bristol tonight. So to get off on the wrong foot like that and just have an incident where the car is heavily damaged, going to need a few minutes of repair there, it just really hurts his chances tonight. Really bummed out for him.
Yeah, no quick repair here tonight at Bristol, as these guys are racing for position, playoff points, and that big win so that they can find their way into the chase. We look up at the front, we see Graham is still your leader, and Chris Cornett side by side with him. David Cook third. Doug Neal has made his way up into fourth. Hey, Robert Richards, Kyle Lynn, he's right behind them. Justin Parham, that's a strong rookie running 7. Womp himself, the 23 in 8. Alex McQuarter, Colin Bollinger, another rookie. He's in 10th, but remember, he is in that points chase. Really hoping we can see some side-by-side between that 53 and that 961 to see if they're going to continue that conversation they had in practice.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see how that's going to pan out. We've got our caution here. Let's see if we have any takers here on on a pit here while we're early on here. I don't think
I
we'll
mean,
have
8
any
laps.
takers. Yeah, you're kind
Yeah,
of
8
early in the
laps.
race.
You know, they don't know what's going to happen yet. I spoke a little bit earlier with David Owens, and he told me that these cars can pretty much make 80 green flag laps on a tank of gas. And I asked him about tires, and he said he could make 80 on those tires. And the 3 other drivers in the room laughed out loud, not just a chuckle. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can push those cars. As far as your stages go, as always, we're going to have 2 stages. One will be at lap 75, one at lap 150, and then they will race for that final checkered ending on lap 225 here at Bristol. Really a good lineup. I see that green flag, and pace car is off as Grady leads him around, and we are going to see him go live, hammer down here at Bristol. Grady Graham still in the lead in that green 961 car.
Looked like Grady fired off cleanly here. Got a good restart out to the quick lead there. Looks like we're going to have a good, clean first lap on the restart here. So see what happens here back in the pack a little further. Everybody jockeying for position. And Gene, I don't know about you, but I've always been a fan of watching racing here in Bristol. As long as I can remember, back from being a kid, you know, it's just one of those kind of iconic tracks. Just one of those just bucket list kind of races to see in person.
Absolutely. And if you get the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to go to Bristol Live, caution on the track. I don't see any radio chatter.
Oh, we got a big one here at Bristol. A big one.
Should I pit? Or should I stay now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I'm going to have to take my shoes off to count that high.
Yeah, I don't know if I have enough fingers and toes for this one. Let's take a quick look here on the replay and see who's exactly involved in this incident.
Well, it's definitely going to start up in the front, and then those other guys are just going to pile on top like a train.
Like the 57 there. Wow, the cars flipping in the air. It's a rare occasion to see cars flipping in the air at Bristol.
Thomas Fox, he is driving that 57. Really unfortunate, and once he gets loose, you can just see it go wild. The 44 gets involved in that mess as well. Oh, yeah, we got a little bit of a spinning car. That guy thought he was Corey LaJoy.
Yeah, there's the high banks here at Bristol. You know, it's narrow in the turns there. You're trying to go 3 wide. You have an incident like that, they stack up quick. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hide.
And we're going to be able to see exactly the attrition that these wrecks are going to take on the cars. Already we can see Steve Lewis 10 laps down, counting. Robert Babcock, Christopher Knott, Kenneth Redinger 2 laps down, Thomas Fox. I mean, 3 of those 4 guys are playoff drivers. They cannot afford to lose that many points, especially with 5 races left before the cutoff to go to the chase.
Absolutely. Kenneth Redinger, our Monday night winner in the Cup Series, so he's definitely been on a little bit of hot streak trying to carry that momentum here in the Xfinity Series. It's a shame to get caught up in an incident like that. You don't like to see that kind of thing happening early in a race. Thomas Fox, a seasoned veteran, always there, always consistent. Just one of them racing deals.
I'm looking down at the race list right now. Looks like the 32 of Bobby Dodson did not make the grid. So Bobby Dodson, always a strong competitor, not going to be part of the race tonight. Quite unfortunate. We'll have to try to get the insider scoop later, see exactly what happened with Bobby.
And that's a shame, Mr. Dodson here. He's definitely a hard charger, trying to jockey for playoff position and try to get as many points as you can heading into the playoffs. So I don't know if he had a technical issue or just car wasn't up to snuff tonight, but sadly a scratch.
And we can still see that 961 as he leads him around. Grady Graham, still one of the fastest cars on the track. And we're talking about attrition. You know, you've got 7 cars that are 3 laps back or worse. So that lucky dog, he's not trying to get back on the lead lap. He's just trying to start weaning that number down, 3, 2, 1. Before he's even close to getting back on the lead lap.
So we have Stephen Neal. He'll be the last car in the lead lap here. going into our restart here. Light still on the pace car as we try to clean things up and get ready for our restart.
A lot of chatter from Jax Duval, our race official, as he is trying to get everybody in line. MRL officials doing a really good job here of trying to get order restored with this many cars on the Bristol track. Looks like the lights are off. They're going to take it around one more time before that pace car gets out of the way. And see, we've seen a lot of patience explode into violence. Let's see what happens this time. Green flag is dropped. Grady Graham leads him. Nice jump. And you can see underneath him, the 44 of Chris Cornett is hugging tight. The 71 of David Cook on the outside. He'd love to make a move. We've seen Cornett give way to Cook all night long. Let's see if he continues to do it. Little light contact by Cornett on that wall. Cook running high here. We're going to get that transition, see, from day to night. And then I think the track will loosen up and that top lane really might become a factor. But we see David Cook right now trying to take advantage of it as him and Graham are side by side.
Yeah, the guys are just trying to, just feel their way around the track, try to find the preferred line, jockey there for position. As we transition into night, temps will go down, the grip will improve, and it'll be quite interesting here as we see cars off the track as we have just another pandemonium going on here.
It's really difficult to hold on. Now all of those cars we spoke about earlier are 8, 9, and 10 laps down. So the 27 cars still on the lead lap are really the only ones running. And there is yet another caution. Cautions breed cautions. And we continue to see them stack up here as we are figuring out what happened. Joe Volpus is on the radio. Not sure if he was part of that, but we're going to take a look.
So we'll go ahead and try to take a look. I was trying to observe there was a lot of cars running on the apron and ducking out of the way here. We'll try to get a better look and see just exactly how that occurred.
Yeah, there is a lot of chatter running right there in that middle group, 8 through 12, amongst those drivers, but they all seem to be running still pretty strong. Stephen Neal still creeping around, Joe Amato in the back. That might have been just to clean things up. I am looking at that race board, and we've still got the 27 cars on that lead lap. So that might have been some clerical work on the part of MRL officials.
Maybe a little housekeeping there.
As I've yet to see anybody actually take it down into the pit, which leads me to believe that it might not have been harsh contact. Could have even been some shuffling just of the positions. Right now, we've got the camera back on our leader, still leading this race, looking strong, is Grady Graham, the rookie.
Grady off to a very impressive start here tonight. Just been controlling the field from the start. And we'll see if he has any challengers, if we can get a green flag run here, as we've not been able to put more than a few laps together at a time.
Very difficult to make a pass on this track. I think that the attempt we saw by Cook running around the outside was probably the strongest challenge that we've seen to make that type of pass, or any type of pass. Other passes have just ended up in mayhem. I think these drivers are going to need to find a bottle of patience, open it up, and sip on it for a few laps, as we are only at lap 26 right now. I'm going to race strong to 75 to get to the end of that first stage.
Absolutely, and the Wednesday night Xfinity series is the only series in the MRL where they follow a typical modern-day NASCAR stage format, where there are actual stages and stage breaks. So it's kind of neat to see they kind of mirror what the guys do in the current Xfinity series.
And it's also a little hint of what's going to happen this weekend, as the drivers are going to be in a cutoff race this weekend. Again, my conversation we were having earlier, if you, the viewer, ever get the opportunity to go to Bristol, remember to sit in the corner. Do not sit on the straightaways. They're too short, and you're going to feel like you're in a tennis match with your head jerking left and right the entire time. And I don't know about you youngins, but for us old folks, earplugs are definitely recommended.
Yeah, they don't call it Thunder Valley for nothing, you know. That's what she said. So, I mean, you know, you go to a NASCAR race, you're expecting to hear the loud roar of the cars, but it's like an echo chamber. So I think we're going to get back to racing here.
And they go hammer down. Look at that jump by Graham as he takes full advantage of controlling the pace. Underneath, you can see, once again, Cornette gets the initial jump on Cook. Cook and Cornette with contact in the front. That's going to eat up some leaders as well. And it was going to happen. See, how many times did we see Cornette slow down and let David Cook get by? And then in the back, that accordion effect, you can see those other cars just all bundled up, looking like a human centipede. Let's look at this replay.
Like to see, I don't know if they fired off here and had a good clean restart.
So you could see right there, Cornette and Cook make contact.
Kyle and Knott just smacks him. Nowhere to go right there. I mean, there's milliseconds to react.
And then all of a sudden, here comes the 24.
Here's your
Kyle
accordion
laying
effect.
back onto the track. Cornette getting part of it.
David Owens involved. Mr. Zero Chill involved.
Our series leader, David Owens. Look at how clean the 15 went around there. Bravo.
And a one car trying to squeak through there, and then it just becomes a parking lot out there. That's incredible.
It really does. And look at the caution of the 27 car, Dave Kirkpatrick taking this no chances. He's going to just come to a stop, let things fix themselves. Stephen Neal, the rookie in the 45, you can see he also came to a stop. This is just a hot mess. 2, 4, 6, 8.
See how this here develops. I mean, you can see everything is going well until it's not. We'll stack up in the corner and.
Who's behind Owens right there?
That was an ARCA brake situation there.
That was definitely an initiator of pain and discomfort. That white and blue car, I would not be surprised to see him get that EOL.
He just come in through a wrecking ball through there.
And also, we can't tell you exactly what's being said because this program is PG-13, but Grady Graham is right now having a very exciting talk with his crew chief on the radio. I really wish I could share more of it with you folks. I can't. But if you've ever seen Ren and Stimpy and wish that it was rated R, that's exactly what's happening on the radio right now.
He's definitely showing his displeasure with what just happened there. And like you said, you know, we try to keep it as family friendly as we can be here so we can keep the views and not get in trouble with the folks over at Google. So just like Gene said, just think about your favorite cartoon, but the adult version.
This is something, too, because I'm not sure if Grady Graham is going to receive a penalty, but he has gone from first to currently running in 9th place. That is going to make David Cook currently listed up at the top. This should be fascinating to see how they're going to settle this.
A little shuffling of the deck here. Yeah, it looks like David Cook is going to take the point. Pace car lights are off, so it looks like we're about to go racing again here. That was a real interesting event there. You know, it's not often that you see a big one of that magnitude at a short track. Usually that's reserved for Daytona, Talladega, thereabouts. As the pace car pulls off, we're going to try to go green again here and see if we can put a few laps together.
David Cook, your leader. Doug Neal on the outside. Look at the jump.
Bad restart.
Crashing.
Stack up on the restart.
And Doug Neal spun these tires, and that forced the car behind him to immediately make contact.
This is getting to be not the preferred method, boys. What's going on out there?
The hood is up on the 44, not what Cornette wanted to see how his night would
Looked
end.
like the high line didn't get going here, and they
Yeah,
stacked
I,
up.
I believe what we saw was an immediate spinning of the tires on that outside lane on the restart. You can see the pace car comes down. Cook on the inside, the double O on the outside. That's Doug Neal. And I think Doug Neal just spun his tires, and you can see immediately contact behind him. Whammo.
They all just stacked up. It makes me wonder, did he try to start it off in first and he just put the hammer down too much?
Really unfortunate. And that's going to take out, again, we see 10, 11 cars. Part of this spinning cycle. You could see the number 6 of Jonathan Case of Beer.
Wow, a mangled mess between the 99 and 98. Look at this head-on collision. Simply incredible.
Mm.
Check out David Owens in the 11 as he catches some air from all of this. Look at
You
him.
know,
He backed that thing up.
Ringling Brothers is going to start the circus up again, and I think they need a trapeze artist. David Owens making his best case to go join him and be one of the Grayson brothers.
It looks like roughly
35
19
started.
cars out of 35 are on the lead lap after a series of events. I'm shocked. G-Money, what can you add to this here? I don't think I've seen something like this before at a short track.
Well, I'm looking at the people that thought I'm not going to qualify. You're right, the ones that voluntarily started in the back of the pack. Joshua Perkins, the rookie in the 78, he chose not to qualify, and he's running in 9th place. Stephen Neal, he was involved in that wreck, but right now he finds himself in 18th. Again, only 19 drivers on the lead lap. David Owens, our series leader, he's in 19th. And the other guys that chose not to qualify, 6 laps down, that's Larry Johnson, and 25 laps down, Christopher Smurrell. So half of the guys who didn't qualify, they're still on the lead lap. The other 2, not so much. So it looks like that strategy might have paid off, because at this point, more than half the field is a lap down.
Could have been a foreshadowing to see the events that have unfolded here at Bristol.
So the race control is still working with the drivers to figure out exactly what happened. You can see a few cars zipping around as quickly as they can. But your leader at this moment is still going to be David Cook, as he is right behind that pace car waiting for his opportunity to get this restart. Snage, that restart has really just been dominated by that lead car. It seems like this track, more than Kansas, more than Watkins Glen, the power to control when you start has just been paramount, allowing these cars to get 2, 3, 4 car length advantage.
Yeah, I believe it's a combination of the gearing, the horsepower, and being able to control the restart. As you know, they wait to enter the Geico restart zone, and it's just all about the timing and being able to put the power down and hook up. So as we saw in that last restart, I highly recommend against trying to start in first gear, as you might create an incident like we just saw. It's probably better to try to do a little throttle modulation, maybe launch it in second. But you're absolutely right. You control that restart, you get out clean, you can definitely have the advantage all night.
Well, we're going to have a new car on the outside lane in the front row. That's going to be Ty Keela. In that 24 car, he's running in that Fox 24, going to start second. Next row, Colin Bollinger, Alex McWhorter. Pace car is off.
Ty Stone Cold Killer, as we're in the blimp right there, the Goodyear blimp. We're getting restarted.
And there he goes. He's over the start-finish line. Great restart by David Cook as he is controlling this race. Ty Killer trying to make a chase in that 24. Colin Bollinger, he's in third in that 53. And you can see Alex McWhorter has also thrown his name into the hat as we see live racing here at Bristol as we are running strong.
Much better restart this time. Looks like everybody fired off clean here. There's going to be a little bit of separation. 22 there, Nate Maurer there, got a little battle there.
And let's see if Nate can hold that bottom line. It hasn't really been the problem hasn't been cars that are running side by side. It's been the braking. As soon as there seems to be any type of hiccup in speed, the cars behind them are just not recognizing it and letting off in time. That bottom lane not paying off, as we can see 22 losing position and then 971 pulling away from him.
Yeah, it looks like the yellows come out once more. Didn't see what exactly happened there. We're going to have to go check out. Oh, looks like Grady, our rookie. Grady, our pole sitter.
Oh, and he
Joe
just backed
Amato
down
just got-
into a motto.
Got T-boned him. Well, let's see how this develops.
I'm
like we
looking
have-
at this thing right now. 28 looks good. 961 looks good. What happens? See?
Yeah, 961 goes to dive. Joe Amato looks like he closes the corner late, gets in the back of him, and we have contact.
Oh, and then the 28 says, "Hey, remember when you hit me? Well,
Yeah.
that was an accident."
I think he showed his displeasure right there.
A little blink of frustration from Amato, and into the pits comes the rookie of Grady Graham. There was a lot of chatter as we see the 961 on pit row. He's in that pole premium position, getting some repairs done. There was a lot of chatter during practice that he couldn't keep it up, that car was going to wear out his tires. And I think we might have seen a little bit of that slipperiness as he ran right into the back of Joe Amato.
Yeah, we have a few takers on pit road there. Looks like they're maybe trying to get a little more repairs done from prior incidents, and maybe take some freshies or maybe top off on some fuel here. Lap 47 of 225. Looks like we're gonna be here for a few laps to try to restore order, get race control all taken care of here.
There is a ton of chatter out there. Nate Maurer talking, Kyle Lynn, trying to figure out exactly where they are going to go on this shuffling. There were 19 cars on the lead lap, but I think we're going to see some people needing to come in the pits. The front, though, not too bothered by that. David Cook still out there. Ty Killaquilla, he's still running second. You can see the cars side by side as they come across that start-finish line right behind our pace car. What do you think? See, this looks like frustration. I don't think that Amato hit Graham back on purpose, but Graham, the way that he made contact with Amato, that just kind of makes me wonder what was going on inside the helmet.
Yeah, we've had a lot of incidents happen tonight, a lot of cautions. We haven't really had that green flag run just yet. And, most of these drivers are probably just a little frustrated. This is not going the way they thought it would. So, the trees have become the forest for a few, so to speak. So, I mean, two guys going for the same spot, and the first one to lift is a rotten egg, I suppose, and just incidental contact there.
Well, lots of strong racing from the cars that have managed to make it through the wreck fest. We knew, though, with this many cars in a Bristol track, you're going to see some contact, especially those accordion crashes. Things you're not expecting to see is just a bumper hitting a bumper when there's no other cars around. I see the lights are off. They're going around one more time, and then we're going to get this thing restarted.
Yep. We're going to go right now. We're about to go green as soon as we hit this restart zone. It fires off there. Got a clean restart.
David
Highline
Cook
not
taking
going
the
too well.
outside that time. Did you see that?
David Cook going for the high line. I think the track is kind of rubbered in, and the high line is going to be where the action's at tonight. You want to get a good run going, get your momentum. If you can stick it up high, I think you have the keys to success.
A little bit of side-by-side there with Bollinger, and looks like Nicholas Dunfrancesco is now making himself seen, as you see that number 3 on that bottom lane. Some side-by-side And again, these drivers, they're able to drive side by side here. That's not the problem. The problem has been that accord, and there is contact again right behind that group of Don Francesco. Looks like it might have been Robert Richards and David Brenner.
Yeah,
not
yellow's
not
out again.
sure.
It looks like Robbie Richards, David Brenner had a little contact there. Try to go back and confirm that for you. Sean Walton in the 99 goes for a spin.
Really not what he wanted to see there. A 99 car just of Robert Richards just comes right into it. You could see it get
He
loose.
just lost it on exit there, just kind of overcooked it a little bit.
All right, looks like though they're not going to pick up anybody else. He did make slight contact with the car on that's lower on the apron there. Here's a good in-car cam right here.
Here we go for a ride here. And it looks like he went for a ride.
And he does. He just makes little contact with Sean Walton in the 23. Walton able to continue straight on his path. And Richards saves it. Didn't see any contact. I think everything will be fine as these cars are going to line back up. Hopefully, we'll get a quick restart. I do see a little bit of pit activity. And tonight we are running double pits with this many cars, ladies and gentlemen. So you've got people pitting on both sides of Bristol.
And Gene, that could have been far worse there. I'm glad that that incident was kept to a minimum. You hate to see the caution flag come. These guys are trying so hard to run their best, try to get back under control, try to get in a rhythm, try to get in a groove, and you know, he just a little anxious there to make the high line work, and just gave it a little too much out of turn.
But these drivers, as they spread out, we see less and less contact. Here's an interesting story. 6 laps down, we see Grady Graham. He's back on the track. Good for him. And right behind him, we see the 28 of Joe Amato. Joe Amato 3 laps down, but yet these two cars, they found each other again. No beef between Amato and Grady Graham in the practice. I think that was an isolated incident. Joe Amato, he's not looking to make any more enemies, so I don't think we're going to get anything out of that.
I just think that was just aggressive racing, you know, nothing more, nothing less. It's just poetic justice there, just right behind each other here as we're going to get rolling here another lap or so.
And remember, Joe Amato is part of T-Bone Racing, so he's yet to do the coup de grace on Graham, but I think we're going to see some clean racing. Matt Novella is the candidate for the Lucky Dog, currently running in 19th position. Matt would love to get back on that lead lap and make himself a contender in this race.
I know that would definitely help Matt out, as he's just really been frustrated lately. Just kind of wants to get the monkey off his back. So it looks like the pace lights are off the car. We're probably going to go back green here this lap.
Coming into that turn 3, we're going to see that pace car shoot off. David Cook, your leader. Ty Quilla, he is in second on that front row. Alex McWhorter, Nate Maurer, Colin Bollinger, Nicholas Don Francesco. They are on the front stretch as Cook gets a great start, goes high in front of Ty Quilla, and he is going to be your leader. You can see McWhorter in the 15 underneath them. Nate Maurer, he's second in points, and he'd love to get a lot of points to make up over David Owens. David Owens currently running back in 17th.
David Cook not waiting for anybody on that restart. Fires off clean, fires off fast. Ty Quilla in second place. Going to try to reel him in here as we move further back until we got a little contact of 15.
Yeah, you can see McWhorter make a little bit of contact with Bollinger, but they were able to keep those things on the track. Trying that low line. That is a very interesting choice. Comes up high in front of him. That's live. And there's a lot of cars. Let's see if they manage to keep this thing from getting too dangerous.
God, Mills, oh my goodness. It just looked like he tried to hold the bottom there, and the car just wouldn't stick. which
Well,
we
we
have
were
two number
talking
ones
about
in the race, so it's kind of interesting to keep up with both of those.
how many laps can these tires handle. You know, when David Owens told us 80, there was a lot of giggling in that drivers' meeting. So I think right now we're looking at a situation 64 laps for some of these guys on these tires. We might be starting to see a little bit of wear. There's been a lot of yellow laps as well.
Yeah, you have to take into consideration now that we've cycled these tires multiple times, hot, cold, hot, cold. So, I mean, that's going to affect the wear as well. So I think you'll see a lot of takers on pit road here saying, I need 4 fresh, have a good ones. Get me out of these old tires.
Yeah, you're looking at about 11 laps though until we're going to be coming in. Yeah, we're looking at about 11 laps till we come in for that stage break. So at this point, if you're David Cook, I think you might need to just stay out on that track and try to secure that stage win.
If I'm David Cook, I'm trying to get the most points possible, so I'm definitely staying out until the stage break if I were him. Any bonus points towards the playoffs is as good as money in the bank, so look for David Cook to stay out in front. No reason to pit. Same thing for Ty Killa, is he's trying to get the stage win and try to see if he can have anything for David Cook here early on. And, you know, we're just looking to have a nice green flag run here, and hopefully we can get these guys here to agree with us.
Well, I'll tell you, that's where it gets quite interesting because everybody here has won at Bristol at some stage in their career. So they're thinking tonight's their night. This has almost been as dicey as looking at a super speedway, the way that we've seen these guys come together. And again, it is not side by side that's the problem. It's just been that accordion effect and people thinking that they can slip a square through a circular hole and make their way through the field when it starts to bunch up, and that is just not the answer.
No, and especially in a short track setting, you know, we all have different lift points, different braking points, different lines we like to take. So to try to adjust to what others are doing, you know, it's not too uncommon to see these stack ups, but to see it at such an exaggerated rate tonight is quite surprising because these guys, like you said, you know, they're all winners, they're all experienced, they know what they're doing out here, and it just seems to be a anomaly that all these cautions seem to keep coming out.
David Cook just crossed that start-finish line. That's going to take him to lap 67. Remember, 75 laps in this first stage. These guys are still on those older tires. They've got to be pushing it. Fuel not a factor at the moment, but I think that those tires are going to be an issue. David Cook, he is your leader on the outside. You can see the 24 of Ty Killa. Nate Maurer in third, looking strong. Nicholas Don Francesco, a nice name up there. David Brenner, Kyle Lynn, Hunter Manley, Josh Perkins. Let's get this thing straight. Pace car is off. See,
they were going to get rolling.
Let's see if David Cook can get that jump.
David Cook, okay. We are still at pace speed.
That was the most anticlimactic.
Looks like we're bringing the pace car back out. Yeah, it seems to have a. See if we can get a reason why the car is coming back out there to more pace laps.
You know, see, that reminds me of my junior prom. All the seniors told me how exciting senior prom was, and I went to junior prom with such high hopes. But at the end of the night, it was about as exciting as that restart right there.
Yeah, definitely a false start on the offense. I don't know what the penalty's going to be, but it looks like the pace car's off again. So just a little hiccup, a little housekeeping to do. So let's see. David Cook fires off early.
That's a real one.
There he goes. He's out. David Cook.
Look at that jump. The 3 goes a little high. Don Francesco, he hits that wall, but he keeps that thing on the track. The 24 of Ty Killa peeking up underneath him, trying to gain a position.
Yeah, pace car is back out. Pace car is back out. Oh my goodness, looks like Joe Amato and Grady yet again, ladies and gentlemen, yet again.
I'll tell you what, these two guys are going to need to go to Applebee's when they get done because they've been together for a while.
You need to book the reservations, get a hotel room at this point, buy them dinner first.
You see that 44 Cornet, he's got to be frustrated as well because he was up in that front group as well.
Yeah, you see bumping and banging there on the restart. 28 kind of brake checks a little bit.
Yep, Cornet, he backed off. He did not want anything to do with that. I think he smelt what the rock was cooking. You can see as Graham comes up high, and they just hook each other. That looked like a race incident.
That looked like a little racing incident. It might be a little net code involved, but we know through past incidents in this race that there's history. I don't know if that was necessarily beef, but as you can see right there, I mean, there is just no quarter given.
That's going to be an interesting call for our race official, Jax Duval. He's going to have to figure that out.
I think this caution most likely will take us to the end of the stage.
And if it does, I am looking at our leader being David Brenner. Is that right? David Brenner.
I see the 22 behind the pace car.
You know, I really do enjoy when I see that 22 winning at the Cup level. So it's also nice to see that 22 up front here at the Xfinity level. David Brenner, I think Brenner's going to make it around. Really wondering exactly what happened to David Cook and all of that mess as he's finding himself in 5th place. Top 10 will get points. So he's still in position to get him some stage points. I'm looking at the officiating right now. Joe Vulpes given the EOL penalty.
And as we look at a restart here, you see David Cook at the point, Ty Killa outside. Ty Killa looks like he has an awful restart there. Just didn't get up to speed and fire off right away. That stacked him up a little bit. And as we go round and round, looks like the caution's out, and
Yep, and they are bringing it around, and we are at lap 74. So it does see like we are going to finish this first stage under caution.
Yeah, we're gonna finish stage 1 under caution here.
Oh, wait a minute! There goes the pace car.
We're going
one
green.
lap for all the marbles. Let's see how they can hold it to 22, running strong. He's got Kyle Lynn behind him. Stephen Neal, how about that?
Stephen Neal with a good run tonight. Try to survive all the attrition. Stephen Neal up there. Good to see him running up front.
He's in that red 45 car. You can see right behind him the 24 of Ty Killa, and boom. Nice stage win right there by David Brenner.
David Brenner stealing some stage points. Very nice. Well played. Look further back in the action. Got our light blue paint schemes right there. Looks like double treble.
Oh, little bit of wiggling as you can see the cars trying to maintain their position. The 27 makes it through there clean. That's David Kirkpatrick running in that black 27 with that yellow lettering. Behind him, you can see Owens trying to make up some space. And here's a couple of matching cars looking like twins, the light blue boys.
Absolutely. Looks like David Owens trying to get up there, trying to improve his situation tonight. We see a car down below there, a little bit under power, getting back up to speed there.
I was a little nervous. See, that kind of reminded me of Heat 5 when that car is just cruising down on that apron, waiting for you to come around.
Is he looking for somebody there? Is that a payback scenario?
He told them put 4 fresh ones on it. They said you're done. They said put 4 fresh ones on it. We all know how that goes. But they're not going to play those games here, MRL, Wednesday night Xfinity. These guys are going for points. They're going to try to put themselves in the best position to make the chase. David Brenner just running strong right now with his opportunity up in the front. That 988 of Kyle Lynn, he's about 1.1 seconds behind Robert Richards, Nate Maurer, David Cook in fifth. Led for so long, won last week, but right now he finds himself in fifth position.
It looks like we're under caution yet again.
Are you guys surprised?
Got Alex McQuarter here. He's joining us in the booth.
Well, I got some time for car repairs, so
Welcome,
Yeah.
Alex. Glad to have you in the booth tonight.
Alex in that 15 car. He's currently 20 laps down, running in the 26th position. But you know, Kyle, Alex, there are some cars just directly ahead of you. Two of them on lap 19 down, two of them 18 lap down, one of them 16 lap down. You can make it up. You could get back up into 21st position or so, depending on if any other people are having issues. What's going on out there tonight, bud? I mean,
Dude,
we've all
I
played
don't know.
Wreckfest.
Yeah, we could use some insight. We're scratching our heads as well. I've never seen so many cautions at a Bristol race before.
I honestly have not either. Usually you get like 2 or 3 at the beginning and it kind of settles down. But the restarts have been terrible. Basic driver etiquette has been terrible. I mean, you come out with cold tires, you know, we just ran caution laps. You run over somebody and then you get loose right in front of them because you're running the low side. You got to know that. I don't know. It seems like a lot of rookie mistakes out of guys that shouldn't be making these mistakes.
Yeah, the side-by-side stuff really doesn't seem to be where the problem is. It seems like it's that accordion effect. The guy in front of you slows down, the next guy slows down a little bit less, that third guy slows down even less, and then the fourth guy doesn't bother slowing down because he knows he can fit his square peg through that round hole, and unfortunately, that's your bumper.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's... the stage break was early. Apparently there was some confusion on the announcement of that in our team chat, but yeah, the stage was at 70, whatever that last caution was.
So we did the stage break early. Okay.
Yes.
It was still David, though, right? David Brenner took that?
David Cook, or did Brenner get that one?
I'd have to check. I'll be honest, I was a little bit... I wasn't paying that much attention. I was a little bit irritated.
I can understand why. There's a lot of business.
I mean,
a lot of business going up there.
I did a pretty good job of missing everything early. I was just kind of content to ride, and I think a lot of people were, but a lot of people weren't content to ride. It seemed like.
And pace lights are off. Looks like we're going to go back green here in a lap.
Well, as I look to the front, it appears that the 971 of Nate Maurer has made his way up into the lead. Nate is a name that we are accustomed to saying. 3 wins on the season for Nate Maurer in that 971 so far this year. Not a surprise to see him running up on the front. He's on the outside. David Cook, fast all night in second. Right below him, Ty, the Quilla, he's in third. And Steve Seegers, the rookie, in fourth. Pace car off. They drop the hammer. Look at that jump the 971 gets as he runs strong through turn 1. And he'd love to check out and take this thing home. But look at that inside run. We can see Cook. He really wants to get back involved in this too. Side-by-side racing as we look a little bit deeper into the field. These cars trying to maintain their position, and they do a really nice job of getting around that track, Snake.
Oh, a little contact there. Let's keep it straight, guys.
Oh, and he comes back up recklessly onto the track. That's Josh Perkins in the 78. But they managed to keep this thing going straight, and we are running strong here at Bristol.
Nate Maurer in our lead right now. Looks like David Cook has a car that can be a force to be reckoned with tonight. As we see a move for the lead there, David Cook is now our leader.
Yeah, Dave's been running strong here all day long. I think that was a veteran move by the rookie Maurer to just let him go on by and not get involved in that issue. Right for him, the 24, that black car, Ty Quilla making his run. And again, the rookie, the 952 of Steve Seegers in fourth. looking strong. Nice run by that rookie, as we got to be excited to see all this fresh blood coming in, running
They got-
strong and not being a wreck.
And it looks like we have that Phantom Purple car there, just kind of doing victory laps on the apron there. So Mr. Vulpes is not having a great go of it as we speak, but hopefully he can get it taken care of. But we're under caution once more here.
You know, we've talked about how fast David Cook is up front, but I mean, I think what you really got to look at
Oh, a little dump and run.
is that live? Did that just happen under caution?
That's what caused our caution right there. That's a replay of what happened there. So
Oh, and behind him, I saw another car get loose. That there must be a little
looks
oil
like
on the track.
Matt Novella on the bottom there.
And look behind, you can see that blue car just losing it as well.
And it looks like Kyle gets in the back of him a little bit there, and around she goes.
Really unfortunate.
And look at Joe Vulpes trying to mind his own business there, just trying to make laps there.
Let's see if Joe gets involved.
And he just skirts by the action there.
He spins it right perfectly in time to avoid being a part of that incident. And once again, David Cook leading a race, watching the wrecks, watching the counter go down as these laps tick, tick, tick on by. And he just continues to press, trying to get most laps led. Last weekend, David Cook, he led most of the laps. He was the fastest lap. He got the pole. I mean, he was all over that leaderboard, and nothing more that he would love to do than get himself another win and push up further. David Cook, currently 8th in points, 98 points behind the leader, David Owens. But there's only a few points between him. He's one behind Bolander, two behind Vulpes for 6th place. So you know he'd love to inch up that board a little bit more as they get ready for that playoff chase run here in another 5 weeks.
Well, if history shows us, being out front seems to be the safest place on the track tonight, G-Money.
Oh, and the run that they get just coming off of that start-finish, it's been more significant here than I've seen at most other tracks.
You can really see that clean air really have an advantage.
Absolutely, and it seems like there's always been oil for the other guy. We've seen 2 tires spin, one immediate wreck, and then another one where he just basically took out the whole bottom row after they had restarted. So that side-by-side position with the leader seems to be dangerous. You know, if I had a choice between being next side-by-side with the leader on a restart tonight and having my picture on the cover of Madden Xbox, I don't know which one I'd choose.
It's definitely a coin flip for me, but I'll have to take a closer look at the back of Cook's car to see if he's shooting banana peels out the rear, because he just out, and those guys are just trying to find grip there. As we see the replay, just they bottle up, make contact, really nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
And you can see Perkins got loose, came back onto the track, made contact. And you can see Perkins again here. Watch this. That's that slight contact. Perkins comes back up. And then watch, as you can see Perkins again, he'll block later in this replay. So there's definitely a lot of action going on right behind him that these guys are starting to pay attention to.
And pace car lights are off. We're going to go green this time.
And David Cook, once again, he is leading them around. Nate Maurer on the outside. Going to be seeing David Cook as he gets that strong run. Maurer on that top here at the colder temperature track. He should be able to hold that position. And once again, nice start by those front drivers. Really liking that eye right there we've got on that 78. He's been getting a little bit squirrely, and he don't mind blocking. So that's somebody that I would not be surprised to see some incidents occur with here rolling forward.
Looks like he had a cleaner restart that time around as they start to fan out and get their positions here established.
Jonathan Casabir running in that 6 underneath him. You can see that gap starting to appear right behind him, and that 988 Kyle Lynn. He would love to get by, but he has been the recipient of that blocking.
Kyle might need a case of beers after this one is over.
Well, maybe they could get together and try to figure this thing out. Right now, Kyle Lynn, he is trying to get underneath the
Oh,
70.
contact again. Looks like the 78 involved.
I am so surprised, Snage. What happened?
At 78 and a 3 make contact there, and thank goodness for the inside safer barrier. That looked like it was quite a lick. Let's go back and see this one in real time.
Look at Don Francesco. He tapped the apron right there, but he saves it. 78. Did he come off the
78.
wall, or did he just
No,
get tight?
he just lost it out of the turn there. I just over throttled it, and before you know it, looks like the 3 had a lap full of race car. Nowhere to go.
It's unfortunate. Don Francesco, he had runs. We saw him up in that top 5. Nice side by side right here by KK. Boom. Real unfortunate incident right there for Don Francesco. Not what he wanted to see. I hear Don Francesco is on the short list of candidates to run for T-Bone Racing next year, but he's going to need to have his resume filled out a little bit deeper if he thinks he's going to make it on that squad.
I wonder how he likes his T-bone cooked.
It better be medium rare. We're going to send him back out to California somewhere. Let's look up front. You can see your race leader, David Cook, as he is following that pace car around. I wonder how many laps the pace cars led tonight.
Yeah, we might have to give the win to the pace car tonight at this point.
Well, I think if he got in the lead, he too might get blocked if somebody got by him. David Cook is your leader. Behind him, Nate Maurer. Nate Maurer looking to make up the gap that David Owens has on him in season points. David Owens is your points leader. Owens currently running back in 13th position. Lead lap cars, we've got 16 lead lap cars. Still waiting on word to see if Michael Mata is going to get his lucky dog back and get back on the lead lap.
And we have a wild Grizz in the chat. Shout out to Grizz.
Got a birthday boy in
Happy
the chat.
birthday
right
in the
now.
chat. Shot.
Happy
I'll
birthday,
count you
my friend.
down. 3, 2, 1. Cheers.
That's what I'm saying. Bottoms up and hammer down. A lot of live racing right here as we see them going around, getting ready for that restart. Waiting to get a look at that pace car. You can see that nice overhead of Bristol, that scoreboard just kind of dangling in the middle.
Yeah, light's still on the pace car, so we're going to go around at least one more time. Now the lights are off, so looks like we have all our housekeeping taken care of. These guys will line up and tighten up the formation, and let's go back to racing.
Hey, look at that third row. You got Hunter Manley in the 26, Dave Kirkpatrick in the 27. Those are a couple of guys that we haven't talked to very much or talked about, so that's going to be fun to watch them as they try to make their way up through, currently running in that third row.
Yeah, he's quite manly. We'll go on board there at the Home Depot.
Good looking run. He can see those front runners right there.
And pace car is off. Get a nice bird's eye view of the Geico restart zone as they fire off. And David Cook looks like he gets another good restart there. Nate Maurer there down below. See if he can kind of go up and tuck in behind him.
That was a tight move right there, but you can see the rookie Seegers let him in up and down that 971. As
Seegers
he's got
come to
that
play today.
952. He wants a piece of it. It'll be interesting to see how these veterans treat this rookie driver as Seegers pushes his way past Maurer, and he is running in second place looking for some clean air.
Yeah, clean air is king as we see David Cook hold the lead right there.
And look at that outside lane, see?
That's-
Really coming to effect on that cooler track temp.
Yeah, it's really rubbered in. The grip's right there. The track's cooled off. That's where you want to be. But we are under caution yet again. So we go find out and take a look and see what's happened this time as we see the 78, the 959 get collected there, and we see Novella involved. Matt Novella gets collected in that incident. 78 in multiple incidents tonight. Just not his night, G-Money.
And the 959, that's Aaron Espy. This is his first run here with MRL, not the way he wanted to do it. Espy already 18 laps down, being in earlier cautions, and now he finds himself getting caught up in this spin with Perkins.
Perkins
Look at
just kind of
Novella.
makes contact with the wall, comes down into the 959, and Matt Novella, just an innocent bystander. Nowhere to go for Matt Novella.
I see Joe Volpus come by. Also looks like he might have tapped that right front. Not really sure how that's going to work for Volpus, but Volpus he'd love to move up further in the standings, but Volpus currently 27 laps down, back in 22nd place.
Yeah,
So a lot of the big
racing
names,
a hurt race car tonight.
yeah, a lot of the big names finding themselves down, but other big names still manage to make their way through this mayhem. As we said earlier, we've still got 15 cars on the lead lap. The way I see it looks like Sean Walton might be our lucky dog candidate, but unfortunately, he's in the pit and he's getting some repairs.
He would have been our lucky dog candidate, but he opted to get his car fixed. He was involved in that caution as well, so that would exclude him from being a lucky dog right there. We're not even halfway tonight. Lap 111 of 225 here for our feature.
And they're trying to make their way to that second stage, and that'll be at lap 150. Remember, that first stage caution came a little bit early. They decided to do that under caution. So we're the second one. We're hoping to get it all the way to lap 150. They're talking about these cars can run about 80 laps of green flag racing. So we'll see exactly what kind of strategy these guys are trying to make as they're trying to push these cars to lap 150.
Well, my curiosity is, our viewers at home or on the go, if they're playing a drinking game to the caution flags, are they still with us? Are you still here out there?
I don't think that would be a really smart idea for anybody at this point, unless you're drinking water. then I think you're going to be okay.
You better pace yourself like these pace laps. Oh my!
The Farmer having a good time there.
Yeah.
Now remember, Farmer is a vegetarian. Salad's high on his list of things to eat.
He loves to partake in a nice, freshly tossed salad.
Yeah,
plenty of dressing on there. So let's just be mindful of what we put in the chat out there, folks. Everybody can see. Let's just try to keep it clean out there, but let's just enjoy the racing more than anything.
Let's be cleaner than the racing that we've seen. A lot of contact, a lot of frustration. I'm really hoping to see these guys keep it on the track on these next few restarts as we see them lining up. The pace car lights are off. Wow, a lot fewer cars on the track at this point.
That's it. David Cook inside, Seeger on the outside, and David Cook fires off yet again. He's got a rocket ship tonight, Mean Gene.
It is just looking like it could be David Cook's night. He took it last week at Watkins Glen, and right now Cook, the rookie, looking strong here. Outside second place, you can see Seeger, Nate Maurer underneath him. Nate Maurer slipping right up. Contact in the back.
27 involved.
Oh,
looks like the 88 gets tagged.
That looked like the 99
Steve
of
Lewis
Robert
collected
Richards.
again.
99 of Robert Richards also looking like he was part of that hot mess. Richards running right there in that orange and black car. Let's see.
We're going to go on board with Robbie Richards right here.
Owens and Case of Beer directly ahead. That's Case of Beer on the outside in the 6. Little bit of a wiggle mess.
27 gets loose, stacks them up, and wreck avoidance, T-bone style.
Oh, there's a resume builder right there.
I think that one is seared rare.
Can you cook a steak in an air fryer? I don't know, but that was definitely some chilled turkey.
It's Steve Lewis, nowhere to go. He gets clipped in all the action. Robbie Richards there, just an unfortunate victim of
look at that left rear
race car.
That left rear of Richards looked brutal.
That left rear definitely is going to affect the aero. He'll have to come in and get some repairs on that.
Yeah, we could see the 27 of Kirkpatrick making his way around. Really nice scheme. like a shout out there to Rusty Wallace for those of you that remember Rusty Wallace in that Miller
Yeah.
Genuine draft car.
A definite homage to that. And to that point, Steve Lewis and the Haviland scheme, that's quite a nice homage. Many drivers had those iconic colors.
All right, I tell you what, let's count to 3, and we're going to say who we think that scheme would be, that Haviland. You ready? 1, 2, 3, Davey Allison.
Yeah, I
I
think
was-
so. I
I was
wanted to
waiting
say
for you to yell Ernie Irvin.
I was thinking about that, but the colors, man, it's just the colors on there.
Yeah, that is a nice car. Steve Lewis, rough night tonight. Really hoping that he could get back on the winning track, get back up on that lead lap. But Steve Lewis in that 88 has found himself part of more than one wreck. Currently 84 laps down. Painful night for the 88. Look back up front. Michael Motto did get that lucky dog at some point and finds himself back up in 15th place. Good for him. 15 cars on the lead lap currently. And as we've seen the last few laps, see David Cook continues to be your leader. The rookie Seegers on that front row with him. We'll see if Seegers falls victim to the Madden curse. Or maybe we can call it the Cook curse of being starting on the front row with him.
Well, I like to see if they can get on a long run here, see if Seeger has long run speed. And it just makes me wonder if Nate Maurer is just kind of like ducking and lying in wait here, and ready to make his move later on as we try to get past halfway here and close to our second stage completion here. Pace lights are off, so we will be going green this time around.
And we see Cook choosing the outside. That has been working for him underneath Seeger, and surprisingly Maurer going to be on the bottom. You know, that's the strategy I've seen, is be on the bottom so that way when the cars wash up into the wall, maybe you can avoid it. The 24 Ty Killa, he is definitely on the hot seat in 4th place on the outside, hoping that there's not a lot of foolishness that would collect him. Kyle Lynn, Hunter Manley, David Brenner, Jonathan Casabir.
Yeah, Lynott, case of beer. Yeah, just got a little hornet's nest right there.
I spoke with Kyle earlier. He said the correct way to pronounce his name is Lynn.
And David Cook fires off once again. He's just electric on these restarts tonight. Seeger in 2nd place. Ty Killa and Nate Maurer there jockeying for 3rd place. Let's see how it shakes out as we exit out of turn 3 there. Got one clean lap under our belts. It looks like they've all fanned out rather nicely here. Let's see if we can maintain race pace.
69, a Christopher Knott back in the pits looking for repairs. I don't think he made it up to the track minimum speed. David Cook, he has got a good run, but he did not get away the way that he did last time. You can see Seeger is up on top of him. Ty Killa also tight in that hunt. Nate Maurer, Kyle Lynn, Hunter Manley, David Brenner. These guys are not going away. They want a piece of the action, and there's only so much pie left on the table.
I think this is the point in the race where you're going to start to see your comers and goers here. You got not too many varying strategies at work here, as we've had so many cautions, so there's a little deviation in what these guys are doing, but you're going to really see who's got the goods and who's going to start fading away here as we count some laps down.
We can even identify a front group. There's 6 drivers in that front group trying to pull away from Cook all the way down to Lynn. And then afterwards, David Owens is the leader of that second group. He's got Nick Mills, Stephen Neal, Dave Kirkpatrick right behind him trying to make moves. So you see these 2 groups that are definitely trying to break away. Kyle Lynn starting to fade away. David Owens breaking away from his group, trying to chase Kyle down. That'll be an interesting thing to see. David Owens, we haven't seen him in the front very much, but he is a veteran.
I believe we are under caution once more. And this is because we've had the 936 and the 959 they kind of get caught up here. They got together.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Mata, the 936, managed to make his way back onto the lead lap, and he's going to get caught up with the 959 of Espy. Espy 19 laps down. Let's see
Espy
what
not
happens
having
here.
a good debut tonight in our Xfinity series.
And the 936 just comes up high. Not a lot Espy could have done with that, see.
No, no. It just needed to give him a little more room there. It's just all about just holding the line. Um,
Oh, and Steve Lewis, he
Steve,
almost got him, but somehow that car got out of his way.
sometimes the cars find you.
You can see the 69 coming out. He's trying to cause a little bit of an effort there.
He said, "Check me out."
And the drivers side by side. No one told anyone they were number one, so I think they both think it was just a racing incident. Not a lot of chatter on race chat either, so I would assume these drivers understand it's been that kind of night. No one's trying to take anyone out, but unfortunately, the nature of tonight's race has just been contact.
If you would have told me this going into the race that we would have had north of a dozen cautions, I would have been giving you a second look, Mean Gene. I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, but with 35 drivers out there, you knew there might be some heightened cautions, and that is exactly what we've seen tonight as these cautions just continue to build up. But that has not affected your race leader, David Cook, as he continues to dominate tonight. Steve Seegers, he is behind him. Two rookies looking strong, Ty Killen, Nate Maurer, Hunter Manley, and now David Owens has made his way onto the third row, running in sixth place.
And speaking of
Stephen
David
Neal.
Owens, we're going to try to hit him up on the radio here. David Owens, it's Snake with G Money here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you a copy.
David, from your perspective, what's going on tonight, sir? Can you sum it up in one word, or can you sum it up in carefully choosing your words?
Impatient. Short track racing and impatience. So
How have you managed to avoid the carnage? Do you see it developing in front of you? Are you just seeing patterns of chaos, or is it just sometimes better to be lucky than good?
I've got lucky on some of them, but I don't know. I had 4.5 minutes of damage at one point. So I was collected in one of those big wrecks early on, so able to get it all fixed and back packed up back up to the top. But yeah, that's how it was. So hopefully we get this going again.
Yeah, we're going to keep monitoring it, David. The pace car lights are off. We're going to let you get back where you
Yes, sir. Have a
into
good
your
one.
chat. Good luck, bro, my friend.
And pace lights are off, so up. Pace car lights are back on. We're going to go around yet one more time, take care of a little housekeeping here. MRL officials have a little scrutiny here. They just want to make sure everything is as it should be. So we'll go around one more time and check out that pretty racing service here at Bristol. I love that concrete surface.
I think we've seen a lot of cars that have definitely had a relationship with that concrete surface as they are still making their way around. And we have 13 cars on the lead lap.
Pace car lights are off this time, so we're going to go green here. Looks like everything is up to standard, and we're going to go ahead and try to make it to our stage 2 break.
David Cook, he is on the outside as he has done the last few restarts. You can see the 952 of Seegers underneath with him. Nate Maurer on the outside again. That man is living on the edge. And the 24 of Ty Killa, that is going to be your front. Here we go. They go across that start-finish line. And that outside run of David Cook, wonderful sprint. 3 wide behind him temporarily. Let's see, Seeger did not get the run he wanted. Ty Killa underneath lets off to let Seeger go by without that contact.
Around number 1 car goes for his little spin as we go under caution one more time.
That is Nick Mills.
Nick Mills not having a good one there. We'll have to see what happened if he was all by himself or if he had a little help.
Well, there's a little bit of chatter between Mills and Kyle Lynn right now. We're going to have to look. It's like the 77 might have been a little part of that as well.
Looks like the 27 and Kirkpatrick right there.
Kirkpatrick riding up. He's got Mills pushed up against that wall. Makes it really hard for Mills to come down and get that angle he wants.
A wiggles got a little
Ooh.
loose, and they tried to correct it, and sadly, there was a car there.
And Steve Lewis again manages to not hit that guy. Lewis riding on the edge, keeping that thing wide open
They just
and
living on
managing
a
to
prayer
avoid the
there.
wreck. And we could see that overhead view as the former fastest car on the track of Graham is still in the garage, either getting repair or wrapping it up for the day. 73 laps down in 26th place. Your pole sitter,
Looks like
Brady Graham.
Joe Volpus going down for service there. Only 12 cars remain on the lead lap tonight here. A lot of attrition.
I am not surprised. At this point, you just have to start wondering who can avoid the wrecks. And the only way to guarantee that is to be in first. They've yet to really make it around to any heavy lap traffic, so that hasn't been an issue as of yet. But I think moving forward, especially once you have fewer cars on the track, we might actually see longer green flag runs.
It's Bristol, baby. That's all you can say.
Hey, that's short track racing. Ha ha ha.
So, trying to make a little bit of light of this. I know it's pretty serious. A lot of these guys were looking for a much better result than what they're gonna ultimately end up with. I just hope that all of these guys can get what they can and try to have a strong finish here. Looks like we're just going to have a few more laps before the stage break at lap 150. So we'll have a quick sprint to the finish and see who our stage 2 winner is going to be. But if I were to venture a guess, my odds would be on David Cook.
I think so. We've seen Cook break away every one of these restarts except for one. There was one restart where you saw Seegers and Maurer stay with him. So if Cook can manage to control that restart, I think that he's got a strong chance of doing this. But if he wiggles, if he does not get that strong restart, I would not be surprised to see either Maurer or Seegers try to jump in there and steal one. You know, Maurer has 2 less starts than everybody else. He missed 2 races, and yet with behind the power of those 3 wins, he's only 35 points behind David Owens. Owens, our series leader, though, currently running 5th, making a strong running of it himself here today at Bristol.
Yeah, we're going to go green here this time. And if what I've noticed is Cook leaves the restart zone right at the
At the
beginning.
bottom this time.
And if one of these guys can figure out to jump early like he does, they might have something for him. But again, shot out of a cannon. David Cook with the clean restart as we go green here at Bristol.
Side by side, Maurer and Seegers behind him trying to make a run. Seeger gets a little bit of an advantage over Maurer, takes over the 2nd place. Maurer in 3rd. You can see right there the 24 of Ty Killa running in 4th. Hunter Manley, he is putting it out there. He is running in 5th in that 26 car. Kyle Lynn, 7. David Owens falls back to 8. Owens does not need trouble right now. Contact by
Manley
the
hits the wall a little bit there. He's trying to flex his muscles there. Got a little bit out of shape, but solid top 5 run for Manley there as everybody collects their collective breath and we get back going here.
Kyle Lynn getting a little bit wiggly right there. He had David Owens directly behind him. It's kind of hard to run straight when you've got 0 chill in your rear view mirror. Keep looking forward, guys. You can't look back.
Sometimes it's better to kind of just check up and get the car underneath you and live the battle another day than to cause another incident. So I definitely applied Kyle on that one. As we see David Owens losing it on his own, hitting the inside wall, and that's definitely going to bring out a caution again.
Unfortunate for Owens. He had Don Francesco right behind him. Good to see Nicholas Don Francesco in the 3 staying on the lead lap after he was an unfortunate victim of a caution earlier. Don Francesco running strong. Owens, he might have looked in his own rearview mirror. Car got tight. You see him come down, and he did make contact with that interior wall.
Not sure what happened with David Owens there, if he cut a tire or something like that, as we see David Cook jumping down there to get service.
Wow.
In the pit road. It looks like all our leaders come in for service. Oh, Ty Killa gets spun out on pit road.
Ty Killa got hit by Cook going in, and then he got spun by Mills going into the stall.
Wow. As he said, I gotta go, go, go.
Watch what happened. You can see when Ty Killa comes into the pit, Cook makes contact with him. This has got to be the worst series of events I've seen by a driver coming in. He's minding his own business. He's behind the pace car. Cook says, hey, look out, buddy. Oh, that's
Like
Seeger.
Sager hits him, and then
That's Seeger.
and as Ty Keela tries to recover from that, Nick Mills just straight up says, "Hi, how you doing?"
So my apology. That was not David Cook. That was Seeger.
Incredible what I just witnessed coming down pit road.
That was something special right there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly what happened right there, but I think Ty is probably having a good talk with his crew chief right now, trying to figure out exactly what's going on between him and the other drivers. We did mention earlier about the 71 of Cook. He did pit as well. So that means as we rotate around, our new leader is going to be the 3 of Nicholas Don Francesco. Kyle Lynn on the outside of him. He might not have a hood on that car, but Lynn's still making it run in that 988.
And it looks like, to my knowledge, that this caution is our stage 2 stage break. So that was the end of the stage, and they were coming in for service. They got a little eager there, and mind-boggling what we just witnessed during that pit entry cycle there.
I can't even imagine what would be going through the mind of Ty as he finds himself victimized by not one, but not 2 people. Tough run for him. But again, your winner of that first stage, second stage, Nicholas Don Francesco. Good run. Smart on his part for the points. We'll see if it pays off as they are about to go into stage 3, and that is going to be 75 laps of hard racing. And looky, here coming into the booth right now, been a minute, Brandon Shelton. Brandon, how are you doing?
Mean Gene, thank you so much. KK and John behind the scenes, I appreciate you guys holding it down. Unfortunately, life calls and had to stay at work a little longer, but I'm here ready to make hopefully the third stage as exciting as possible.
Now, I talked with Brandon earlier. He said a tow truck was involved in what he was doing. You want to talk about tow trucks? The start of this race, Brandon. See, if you were to fathom a guess, and I said 14 on cautions, would you take the over or the under?
I would definitely take the under, even though it's a short track race. What we've seen here tonight has been unprecedented as the pace car drops off when we start stage 3 here.
Take us through this lap, Brandon.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty clean start for all the drivers here. 2x2 going to the backstretch here. And it looks like, I'm not 100% sure who's got the lead now, but they're going to slide up and take that lead comfortably as they come to the next lap.
Don Francesco does get passed by Nate Maurer. Underneath, you can see Kyle Lynn trying to hold the lead. Francesco on the outside trying to make it work. But on these fresh tires, will he be able to warm him up fast enough? Great driving by Francesco on the outside.
Francesco really trying it up there high. You don't want to get into those marbles. You run it too high, you'll be flirting with that wall.
Nate Maurer, Ty Killa behind them, Hunter Manley, Nick Mills. That is your top 6. We can see those top 5 trying to pull away. A little bit of wiggling by that car of Nate Maurer. But right now, Nicholas Don Francesco, he's been threatening the entire night to get up front. A little bit of pit strategy. He takes stage 2. And right now, that number 3 Napa is in the lead. Nicholas Don Francesco, your leader here at Bristol.
Had a nice battle for second. Nate Maurer peeking down low, seeing if he can get the position. It's just hard to stick the bottom here with this high line going so well tonight.
With these Xfinity cars, you see that a lot where the bottom is comfortable, but unfortunately the speed just comes from that second to high line, especially if you're able to enter high, float it down, let it float back up, and then you're on the gas almost to that first lane on exit. And that's what we're seeing the top 3, actually top 5 guys doing now.
It was really interesting earlier, Brandon. We could see side-by-side racing was possible, and it did not cost the drivers that much speed. But as soon as a car wiggled, we just saw that accordion effect in the back. And that first car behind you, he'd slow a little bit, the second a little bit less, and then by the time it got to that third row, these guys were just pile driving each other like a bunch of professional wrestlers. Right now, though, these guys are spread out. and we can just see them finally putting in those green flag laps that we've been so hungry for.
Yeah, we're seeing some really good battles developing in the top 5 right now. It looks like it's tightened up. David Cook not at the point anymore, so we're seeing some fresh faces up in the top 5. David Cook is starting to make his way up there, as we can see, running in 7th. We'll just have to see here as we have a nice 67-lap sprint to the finish.
Cook is stuck behind Stephen Neal. Oh, a little bit of clogging of the vein there. Cook does go underneath. He and Neal managed to avoid that contact. Cook makes the pass on Neal and now finds himself the sole holder of 5th place as he tries to start to make up the gap on those 4 cars ahead of him. Really good run by David Cook, hoping he can get his way back up to the front, where Don Francesco and Maurer
Looks like we
are
have a
battling.
battle for the lead here. Nate Maurer looking like he's going to take the point. And we have a new leader here at Bristol as we see some cars coming down the apron there.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, Mean Gene, and surprise, surprise, Mr. John Beverly. We have the 971 of Nate Maurer, one of my favorite guys, favorite drivers. Not that we're allowed to have favorites, but I've raced with him many, many years, and he always races you tough. He races you clean, but he'll put a hurting on you, and it's good to see him at the point.
Yeah, Nate, we've had the opportunity to interview Nate. You've run with Nate. He's got 2 less races than everybody else on the season, yet he's still second in points. He's got 3 wins. He'd love to pick up win number 4 here in just the 8th race of the season. That would be some serious domination by Nate Maurer as you continue to see him at the point pulling away. Don Francesco gets a little bit loose, and that's going to allow Maurer to pull away even further.
Like we have a nice battle for second. Looks like Ty Keela is on the outside there. He's going to eventually clear Francesco there and take second place as he's getting a little bit loose again there. That just comes with some wear on the tires. David Owens alluded before the race that you could get about 80 laps out of a set of tires. Much to the fervor and the chagrin of others, it got a lot of chuckles, a lot of laughs. So I would say after about 30 to 40 laps, your tires are probably really starting to take a hurting on this surface.
Well, it looks like we have a caution on course. I'm not sure exactly where it happened at, but it looks like, oh, the number 1, backwards. Let's see if KK in the booth can go back and see what happened here. Did he get a little bit of help or just a little bit loose here? You see those flames spouting out. He's hard on the brakes. Just carried a little too much speed, it looks like. But
Looks like our pole sitter Grady gets a little loose there.
Into the wall. Owens avoids it. Good for him. The 22 of Brenner avoids it. Good for him. Owens does tap the wall.
And guys, I'm having a little bit of issue seeing who the green car is, but good on them for, you know, we don't recommend going around in reverse, but good on the green car for holding his brakes and not making that a lot worse than it could be.
The 961 is that green card. Grady Graham, he is your first-time MRL rookie, first race, but the guy came out, he laid down the second fastest time in qualifying, and he was also your pole winner. A lot of the other drivers got a little bit aggressive with him. There was some static in the radio between Graham and a few of the drivers. There was some doubt that he could maintain the speed with that car. They thought that the tires would wear out, but Graham did run strong. At one point, there was a caution in the race. Graham caught up in it, forced back to 9th, and he never recovered. He was then caught up into some incidents and quickly found himself pushed to the back. Then 961 of Grady Graham, 106 laps down, currently running in the 27th position.
Jonathan Casabir currently our leader under caution as we cycle through here.
Now, Brandon, we've seen Jonathan running up at the front more than once, but it seems like toward the end of the race, something just happens to him, whether it's fatigue, bad luck, gas strategy. What are you thinking of Jonathan's odds here today?
Well, listen, I know Jonathan Casabier is a rookie for this league, but let's be honest. He's got good pace in the car, and I'm not just talking about the short track racing, but at our mile and mile and a half, and obviously super speedway. So I wouldn't be surprised if he really has the opportunity to just hold some guys off, run that high line. I mean, listen, he qualified 21st, so if he's going to want to keep the lead here, gonna have to run that high line and make them, pretty much slide job him in this small arena.
Yeah, he's going to have to get a great restart here, as we see David Cook on the outside has found his way back up to the front. It's going to be very interesting to see if his tires can hold and if he can try to get up high to block, like we just mentioned, Brandon. And it'll be 50 laps left once we go green here. Pace car pulling off. Mean Gene, take us away.
Well, it looks like Casabier is going to lead him over, and on the outside, David Cook is in that Madden cover position. Hopefully, he'll get a clean start. You can see him back off. He did not want anything to do with contact. He gets a strong one, and now David Cook takes over that second position. He cuts down low underneath the 6 of Casabier. He makes it work, and he your new leader again. David Cook, he's run the fastest lap here tonight. He took a great win last week, and once again, he is your leader. Manley and the 6 of Casabier, though, that is your battle for second and third. You can see behind a lot of tight cars as they are trying to maintain position.
Casabier lost it. Casabier gets loose, makes contact with the wall. That's going to bring the caution out once more.
No, in the 44 of Chris Cornett. He got back on the lead lap, fought his way up to 8th, and hits the wall trying to avoid the stopped car of Casabier. You can see Jonathan right here. He just gets loose. He taps the wall. Everybody does fine, and then Cornett makes hard contact. That's the 44 of Chris Cornett. Unfortunate for him.
Hey guys, I want to ask you: were you seeing the restart there? I'm hearing from the MRL guy that they are giving an EOL to the 971 for the restart.
So the restart is under scrutiny.
Well, it was, and they're giving the 971 an EOL. We checked up the outside line, and they gave him an EOL, and obviously the 26 of Hunter Manley, one of the rookies here, got into the 6 car, and that's what caused his caution. But yeah, the 71 is going to have to serve an EOLs from what I'm hearing.
That is unfortunate. Nate Maurer, he's looking for that win. He wants to get back on that winning path, get his 4th win, but instead, hearing it right here from Brandon Shelton first.
We take a look here at the replay here. You see the high line, and it
just completely
Neil checks up. Looks like the 71 of Cook right there.
And if I said 971, Mean Gene, I apologize. It is the 71 that is receiving that EOL.
David Cook, our P2
he just didn't go.
He did not go. It looks like he just completely stacked that high line up. And
who does he think he is? Denny Hamlin? You can't do that. And look at that behind him, as you can see.
Yeah,
Neil gets smashed.
Yeah, that 71 is David Cook. He was what, 2, maybe almost 2.5 car lengths back.
Really good pickup there by Brandon, as we can just see. That was unfortunate. And now cars coming down pit row, and it was all the fellas that were involved in that. You can see the 71 of Cook coming in. That looks like it might even be the 11 of David Owens coming in there with him.
David Owens in for service, try to do some repairs on his car there. Remember, he had contact with the wall and the caution beforehand.
Yeah,
and
David
other
Owens.
incidents.
Last car on the lead lap. We are down to 9 cars on the lead lap. Chris Cornett did go a lap down as he was trying to get some repairs on his vehicle. We're taking a look right now, and looks like Cornett is making his way around some of these other cars. I think that's just for position, though. David Owens back on the track. David has been a master of repair. We interviewed David earlier. He said he had over 5 minutes of repairs necessary on that car, but he has managed to utilize each of these cautions to get just enough hammer and duct tape back on that 11 to get it back to not 100%, but enough that he's still rolling on the lead lap.
David Owens, our series leader here, known him for a handful of years, and he's just a very competitive racer, one of the nicest guys you meet. As we go green here.
Take us around the track, Brandon.
All right, we got a green flag racing. The 971 takes off. I mean, he is absolutely on a tear here. And the 3 is going to slide up of Nicholas Don Francesco, if I said that correct. Dave Kirkpatrick is side by side with none other than Ty Keela. Ty Keela on the inside there. He's fighting hard.
Look at Stephen Neal in the 45 right behind him. Hell of a day for Stephen Neal. That's a guy that's been pressing hard in multiple series, trying to get himself up to the front, and he's made his way up into that 5th position. Great run by Stephen as he's pushing this thing around. Stephen, I talked to him earlier. He said there's just too many people in this series named Stephen, and in his words, there can be only one.
3 wide in the back there with the 71, 88, and the 6 car, but they squared themselves away. Good to go here. As you see, the 11 still fighting, like you said. He had a lot of repair, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Chevrolet guys went over to help him. I know he's not in a Chevrolet, but if you want the best, you go with Chevrolet.
Nah, it brings up the old argument. What do you think, Snake? Does it mean first on race day or found on road deserted?
Well, you know where I lean. I'm a Chevy man myself, so I'm definitely loyal to the bow tie.
Bring in my Dodge. Bring in my Dodge. 44 of Chris Cornett back on pit row as he is trying to make this thing. He is milking it around the apron.
Oh, we got 98 in the wall.
Yeah,
Joseph
contact.
Volkes.
Joseph Volpes, been nursing a hurt race car for the majority of this race, makes contact with the wall.
Yeah, no yellow there. I think he's able to get it running.
They're keeping
Joe
the action
Volpe.
going here. As
Getting off
Nate
quick.
Bauer is all squirrely.
Joe Volpe, he is number 6 in points. Unfortunate day for him.
Yeah, we
Look
saw
up
the
at the front,
971
though.
get a little loose. Got into the wall. Sorry, Mean Gene. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
Nah, keep
But-
going.
Yeah, Nicholas. Again, Don Francesco, I believe. Francisco, I'm not 100%, but
I'm going with
Nicholas.
Francesco. It sounds
I like
good.
it. I like it, and his name sounds as good as he's driving right now. Really putting pressure on the 971, which allows Ty Keela in the three-way battle for the lead here.
Ty Keela, remember, he had that unfortunate pit incident where not one but 2 cars managed to hit him and spin him. But here he is in 3rd. Look at that great in-car view, see.
Yeah, we have a nice 3-horse battle here for the lead as we have 30 to go here at Bristol. The action is really tightening up. Nate Maurer has 2 comers on his hands, DeFrancesco and Ty Keela.
Yeah, the 3 gets into Ty Keela there. We were in car, which is perfectly fine. No issues there, but he's going to drop back about a half a second off those first 2, and Ty Keela is coming for the kill.
He needs to get up into that position.
Ty Stone Cold Keela coming for Nate Maurer here as we're winding down our laps here at Bristol tonight in the MRL Xfinity Series.
David,
gentlemen,
he's
please.
4 laps down. Unfortunate to see him go away, but that opens the door for these others, and especially that 971 of Nate Maurer. He's been hot everywhere else, and with no David Cook to battle him, can Ty Keela step up and be the man?
Now, please, gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong, but do we want to make a move if you're Ty Keela this early? I mean, I know there's only, a few handful of laps left, and they click off fast, but as Nate catches these side guys that are side by side, the 28 to 959, he's going to have trouble clearing them because they're racing nice to, well, there we go. I apologize. The 28 does the right thing, falls down low.
Joe Amato goes to the bottom, says, like a matador in red, you guys go right ahead.
And it looks like the 959 is going to do the same thing for him of Aaron Espy, I believe.
Aaron Espy, first-time racer here in MRL. Welcome to the series, Aaron Espy. Looking for big things from him moving forward.
That's excellent classmanship by those gentlemen right there. Let the leaders go, get your groove, let people know, hey, I'm here to be fast, I'm here to race hard, but I'm not here to ruin anyone's race. And that's class act by the 959.
And to your point, Brandon, I think if I were Ty Keela, I'd be content to ride behind here for a few more laps. Maybe start applying the pressure with about 10 to go, and try to see where you're faster than him, where Nate Maurer may have the advantage, and just trying to size him up here, as it looks like DeFrancesco has kind of fell back a little bit, and I don't think he's going to be in the mix here unless something happens in the closing laps.
7 cars on the lead lap. Nate Maurer, your leader. Ty Killa trying to make a move. You can see him riding around that lap car, getting around the 69 as these two men continue to battle. Ty Killa, he's showing patience right now, but let's see how it goes in a few more laps.
So it looks like we're going to see, I believe it's the 971 being chased down, and then Ty Keela's just going so hard, leaves exit of 4 and hits the wall.
So easy to do here at Bristol. You're trying to carry so much speed and get on the throttle on corner exit. It's just easy to kind of slide up and give that wall a big old kiss.
Still only 0.3 of a second behind. Ty Killa would love to come up and make a move. Looking back in the pack, 26. Here's Hunter Manley and David Owens battling. This is the last 2 cars on the lead lap. If I would have told you at the beginning we're going to have 35 start and 6 on the lead, and 7 on the lead lap, you might not have believed me. But there it is.
Okay, case of beer there blocking our leaders here as we're winding down. It's going to be a little bit of calamity here.
Well, he does not want to go another lap down. Jonathan Casebeer, he was a lap down. That's going to put him 2. He would have loved to have stayed up there and had a caution put him on the lead lap. But unfortunately, the speed of Nate Maurer, just too much. Jonathan, come on, get out of the way. Let Ty go. He's running for the win. I understand blocking the leader, but not second.
That's the last thing that Ty Keela wants to see, is a lap car blocking him and impeding him from chasing down the leader.
And again, you just see him right up in there, getting in the way. Unfortunate day. Ty Keela needs him to move out of the way. Brandon, you're Ty. What do? You dump this guy and tell him, hey, man, show some etiquette? Or do you just ride and be content?
Well, Mean Gene, you can see Ty Keela really struggling here. He is trying to do everything he can to get past that 6, and we see him in the wall again. I just don't know. And listen, Nate Maurer is seeing this. He is seeing all of this. He knows that Ty Keela's been in the wall. He knows that the 6 is running hard. But the 6 finally gives up to 24. It is frustrating. Ty probably been like, hey, buddy, why didn't you let me go a couple laps ago? I think if that would have happened another lap or 2, I think we'd be calling Ty Keela a truck because he'd be dumping him.
Well said. That 971. He's running up on Steve Lewis now, trying to get by him. Lewis gives up the position. But that battle we're looking at, see right there, is really tight. 971,
Yep, 971.
looking strong. Look at that lead. He's pushed it to 0.7 of a second right now, pushing his way through lap traffic. And there's Alex McQuarter. We spoke with him earlier. He is your next lap car. You can see him get down on the apron and out of the way of your leader, Maurer.
Nate Maurer stretching his lead over Ty Keela to over 1.5 seconds as the lap car of Steve Lewis is sandwiched in between, as we have 11 to go here at Bristol.
Yeah, 11 to go here. We are going to ride on board for a little bit with the 971. You can see that there is just nothing but clean air, no lap cars in front of him, and he can play with that throttle a little bit to where he's not running the fastest laps as possible. Maybe he lets those 2 catch up. And let me tell you, if Nick DeFrancesco catches up with Ty Keela and starts racing him hard for the P2, I don't think Nate Maurer has anything to worry about.
Well, I think Dan Francesco is going to get by him really quick. Ty Keela's been wiggling. He hits the wall.
Keela in the wall once more. I think
that's
he's hurt that race car.
Right on by.
He's pushed that race car quite hard, and I think he's hurt that race car.
Well, now he's going to have 7 of Kirkpatrick to deal with.
Yeah, see here we're going to see him get back into the wall here on exit, and you know what? 3 just goes right underneath him and takes the spot. But unlike the next-gen car, these cars are prone to cutting down a tire or losing drive off when you start slapping this wall multiple times.
Well, I'll tell you who's not slapping the wall, and that's that 971. Nate Maurer has pushed his lead up to 1.5 seconds. just cutting his way through that lap traffic. As we are counting off the laps, he's crossing the start-finish line again. The ticker is running. Nate Maurer looking for win number 4 here at our 8th race of the regular season in the Wednesday Night Xfinity League MRL.
Yeah, Nicholas Dave Don Francisco on the 3 car, and I'm probably butchering that, and I apologize. I know that he was pushing hard here, but I think he should just kind of slow it down because he was in the wall there. Slow it down. Be happy with a second place podium finish and just save just a little just in case a yellow does come out before we see the white flag.
You can see the visible damage to the nose on that 3 car as he rubs the wall a little bit more. Like you said, you know, we got 4 laps left. I would just take it easy there and get that silver medal tonight. You know, sometimes a runner-up finish is a solid run, and be content and get all the points you can.
You know, Brandon, you brought up something really important right there. You said if there is another caution, then that is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mean Gene. And I tell you what, I am cutting you off left and right tonight. I do apologize.
Keep talking. Just go. Just go.
Barney, the flag man there, stopping in to say hi. But I want to take you back to the beginning of this race. Nate Maurer started 15th. Nicholas Don Francesco started 20th. We see the white flag here. And then Ty Killer starting 10. So here we go. Call it out for us, Mean Gene, as he comes around 3 and 4.
Well, not a lot to call as we see that 971 in that dominant position. Stephen Neal going to go underneath him, but that's not for the win, the big win.
DeFrancesco tried to give it a good push at the end, but not enough at the end.
Did he Ross Chastain that thing? How did he catch up so quick? Amazing. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Nate Maurer in the 971, taking his 4th win of the season. Second place, your runner-up, Nicholas Don Francesco in the 3. Ty Killa guides that thing to a podium finish, finishing 3rd. David Owens in a 4th place finish. And Hunter the Man Manley gonna finish 5th in the 26 car. And big shout out to my man Stephen Neal on the lead lap finish in 6th. I think that might be the best finish of the year for Stephen Neal. Really good run here tonight for these drivers to make it through this battle of attrition.
God, a lot of guys are going to be left scratching their heads what they could have done to improve their result, or what they could have done differently to maybe get that win. But an overwhelming, strong final stage for Nate Maurer, deserving of the victory here at Bristol tonight.
Let's see if he's going to burn it down or if he's going to keep it safe and just take pictures. He did not burn it down at Watkins Glen. So I would not be surprised if instead he just goes and grabs that checkered flag. And that's exactly what he does. Mr. No Burn just keeping it straight. Another nice, impressive win, though. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can get a couple of these drawings. All right. I am pulling in my man right now. Ty the Killer Quilla. Are you there, my man?
I think.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Ty, you with me, buddy?
I'm here.
I'll tell you what, Ty. I kind of felt tempted on one of those cautions in the pit to run down and punch your car because everybody else seemed to want a piece of it.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? That was kind of interesting.
I'm not sure if I've seen somebody recover from that. You were on your line. You were as low as you could go. And then all of a sudden, we just see Seeger come out and give you a pop. And Nick Mills, right when you thought it can't get worse, Nick Mills said, hold my beer. And there you are doing a 360 in the pits. Still, though, to come back from that, to make your way through 35 cars and finish on that podium, hell of a run, Ty. What were you thinking there at the end? That car was getting wiggled loose. Did you have anything for Maurer, or was it just saving it at that point?
Oh, it came to saving it. It was getting loose, and there was no saving the tires. I think I burnt them up earlier. Some of the damage I might have had, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it was an interesting long race.
Well,
but glad to be a part of it.
You know, you got a real close name to tequila, so it looks like you're sticking with the spirits. But I want to talk about beer for a second. Specifically, I want to talk about Jonathan Case of beer. You were chasing down that leader, Maurer, about as hard as you could. And then for about 2 laps, it seemed like Case of Beer was in between you. And we saw how quick Maurer pushed that 1 second lead. What do you think exactly was going on in that moment in the head of that number 6 driver?
He had to just be hungry, I guess.
Yeah, he was 2 laps down, and I knew he was going to fight to stay up ahead. A little bit of confusion up here in the booth, though, to see that 6 in between separate the leaders like that. Really classy answer. I appreciate that, Ty. Great run tonight, man. That'll help you in the points, and looking forward to seeing future races, my friend.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for broadcasting, guys, and shout out to everyone this evening. Great racing, minus all the wrecks. A lot of cautions, huh?
You know it, buddy. That was Ty Killa. He is in the 24, and he finished in 3rd. We are looking around. I'd love to get a hold of Nicholas Don Francesco, but I think he is already talking to people in the booth. I think he went to the radio broadcast instead, unfortunately. But that is still going to leave us with our leader, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pull him in right now, the 971, Nate Maurer. Nate, big win tonight. How you feeling, buddy?
I know maybe you guys can't say this because of contract obligations, but what a terrible race tonight. It was terrible. I'm only here because of luck. Definitely David Cook's race to win. I felt like he was better than me, but restart violation kind of killed his race for him, so we capitalized on it, and we got the win.
Well, David Cook, yes, he was up at the front a lot of the race, but when you go back and look at that replay, I think that you're going to have to agree with the MRL officials. Our tag team partner up here, Brandon Shelton, he caught that quick. Brandon, what was your call on that? You agree with the MRL officials, yeah?
Oh yeah, I mean I could see it from restarted inside line there, and it looked like he was almost back to the 3rd row there. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe just had a little mishap with his I don't even know it's not a software. His I don't know, maybe a shifter problem. I don't know. Maybe he changed gears there and fell back. I have no idea what happened there.
Well, there was a curse, it seemed like, on whomever started next to the leader. The leader always seemed to get that strong run. We saw you do that once you took over the lead, but it seemed like whoever was next to that guy just had the unfortunateness to just fall back and suffer on those restarts. But again, Nate, heck of a run. That is your 4th win. This is race 8. You've only been part of 6, and we just continue to see you creep up closer, and closer. David Owens, though, finishing 4th. He's going to try to keep you out of his regular season playoff run. Nate, any parting thoughts? Any shout-outs you want to give?
I hope David Owens is listening. I'm coming after that points lead, even though I missed 2 races. We're still in striking distance of them. But, just a terrible race. Hopefully you guys can, I don't even know what went on in the back. I just hope that some guys can, especially the newer ones, we don't really like racing like that. I'm sure you guys don't like broadcasting that. So hopefully we can keep you guys around and get the racing cleaner.
Well, I think we're going to see a little bit more maturity and patience coming from those drivers. A lot of rookies involved, 35 cars on this small track. Side-by-side racing, Nate, out there for everybody was really good. It was just when we saw the cars get tight, that accordion effect would occur. And it's hard to judge that when you got that hammered down. I think moving forward, we get on the bigger tracks or even have just a little bit more experience in a field that large. I think we're going to see some smooth racing. But lucky, good, whatever it is, you're the guy on the podium, my friend. Congratulations, Nate Maurer. Big first place win, seeing him trying to chase down our leader, David Owens.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
here.
Have a good night, guys.
You too, buddy. And there he is, Nick, and I'm going to butcher your name good. Please don't hold back on your criticism. Nick Don Francesco.
You did pretty good. You're good.
Say it for me.
Don Francesco.
Don Francesco. I was trying to put a ch in there for no reason whatsoever. Nick, strong run tonight, man. You avoided some of that foolishness at the end. You kept enough tires to sneak on by into second. And then what in the world at the end? Did you Ross Chastain that car around turn 4 to get that close to the leader, Mauer? Or what exactly happened there, bud?
I'm not too sure what was going on there. I think he was letting the lap car go run another lap or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was a crazy race. Started mid pack. I didn't think I was even gonna make it 20 laps. So second place is pretty good.
Oh, I tell you what, second place is better than pretty good, my friend. Second place is something to be proud of. And the run that you had a lot of side-by-side stuff out there with Ty Kila, the third place runner. He was out there on ice skates as well. You made it smoothly around him. There was a little bit of confusion, I think, with the lap driver out there splitting the leaders, and that really allowed you to close the gap. But the way you saved those tires at the end, was it open air or were you just finding the groove?
I was finding my rhythm and just focusing on what I had to do to maintain track position.
Well, you seem to do a really good job. Do you consider yourself more of a short track guy? Road
Yeah,
course, super speedway? What's your favorite?
short tracks. I like short tracks.
Short tracks. Well, we're
Martin,
definitely looking forward to seeing some more of that.
Martinsville and Richmond are my go-to tracks. So,
Well, I think we're going to get the opportunity to see our friend Nick Seska go again and make some more strong runs. Nick, really a good pleasure watching you tonight. I think as we see these guys get a little bit more experience in those larger fields, we're going to see more and more guys on that lead lap. And Nick, we expect to see you up there as well. Great race, my friend. Thank you so much.
all right, thank you.
And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. That was your top 3 finishers as we finish up Wednesday night Xfinity here live on YouTube, courtesy of the MLL Broadcasting Network. Mean G Money, along with 3 of us in the booth, Snakes, Brandon Shelton, and KK down in the pits. Snakes, parting thoughts?
Hey, we're not going to try to put lipstick on the pig tonight, but I'm glad to be back in the booth with you guys. It was fun to hang out and talk some good racing. Congratulations to Nate Maurer on the victory, and look forward to seeing what goes on as the season progresses.
Yeah, Nate looked really strong out there. Can't believe it. Brandon, what is you thinking after this parking lot?
Well, listen, I came in late due to real life issues, but everything's okay now. Unfortunately, heard everything wasn't okay here at Bristol, but that's what we expect at Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum. We're going to get bumping. You're going to get some wrecks, and that's exactly what happened tonight. Now, I know our winner tonight, Nate Maurer, was a little upset, saying that he didn't have a great race, but that just goes to show you have to put everything together to get a win here in the MRL Xfinity Series. This was a great race for me personally to watch unfold, but next week, going to the 1.5 mile over in Kansas City, we'll see 135 laps at night. That place is fast, and it's going to be, I mean, listen, there's only 5 more races until the chase starts, so drivers are really going to have to start honing in. I mean, we have Kansas, Iowa, Dover, believe Daytona, then Nashville, or the other way around, but for tonight, people who survived, great on them. Those who didn't, they're going to have to really come next week to Kansas and be ready to drive.
Yeah, some of those names we're going to be looking at next week. Bobby Dodson, he missed tonight. He's in 12th. Hunter Manley, 13th. Strong run for him tonight. Christopher Knott in that 14th and final championship chase position. And behind them, David Brenner, Robert Richards, Sean Walton. All of these guys would love to get a piece. Stephen Neal, he was 13 behind Walton. Didn't think he was a factor. What does he do? He shows up and he finishes himself in a top 5 position. Amazing racing tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. My pleasure is broadcasting for you always, taking every opportunity to share MRL racing with you. Wednesday night Xfinity, that's going to wrap us up. Come join us again for Monday Mayhem as we'll be live right here. Same MRL time, same MRL channel. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.